Good morning, ladies. My name's the Lieutenant, and that's gonna have to do. I'm not usually for this pencil-pushing business, but I'm supposed to stand up here and read to you some documentation about the newest SCP that breached containment. Hey, listen up. You in the back, I see you. Alrighty, let's see here. SCP-682, Object Class Keter. I hope you know what that means, girls. SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible. At this time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying this SCP, only able to cause massive physical damage. That doesn't sound too bad to me. SCP-682 should be contained within a 5 by 5 by 5 meter chamber with 25 centimeter reinforced acid-resistant steel plate lining inside all surfaces. The containment chamber should be filled with hydrochloric acid until SCP-682 is submerged and incapacitated. Any attempts of the SCP to move, speak, or breach containment should be reacted to with quickness and with full force, as called for by the circumstances. Am I painting a pretty picture in your heads? Personnel are forbidden to speak to the SCP for fear of provoking a rage state. All unauthorized personnel attempting to communicate with SCP-682 will be restrained and removed by force. So none of you chatterboxes get to John with this particular SCP. You got it? Due to its frequent attempts at containment breach, difficulty of containment and incapacitation, and high threat of Foundation exposure, SCP-682 is to be contained in site, doesn't say here. The Foundation will use the best of its resources to maintain all land within 50 kilometers clear of human development. I don't know why they can't use USA measurements, but that's just what it says in the file here. Alright. Description. SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptilian creature of unknown origin. It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communication with SCP-79 during their limited time of exposure. 682 appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. See Addendum 682-B. 682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. I hope you've got higher strength, speed, and reflexes, soldiers. SCP-682's physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material. SCP-682 gains energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. Digestion seems to be aided by a set of filtering gills inside SCP-682's nostrils, which are able to remove a usable matter from any liquid solution, enabling it to constantly regenerate from the acid it is contained in. SCP-682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and SCP-682 has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. God damn. Oh, I wish it was on our side. It would be hells of useful. In case of containment breach, SCP-682 is to be tracked and recaptured by all available mobile task forces. That would be you and I, and no teams fewer than 7 members are cleared to engage it. Let's see here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, looks like we got the bare minimum, so you better hope we're at top form, ladies. To date, attempted breaches have been numbered at 17, while successful breaches have numbered at 6. See Addendum 682-D. Alrighty. I don't know if I'm supposed to read you these here addendums, but I suppose it won't hurt. Anything to put some time between us and the alligator as far as I'm concerned. Dr. Blank. Now, why did you kill those farmers? SCP-682. No verbal communication. Dr. Blank. If you don't talk now, we'll remove you from this attempt and place you back into... SCP-682 utters something incomprehensible. Dr. Blank. Pardon? More incomprehensible speak from SCP-682. Speak up. Move the mic up closer. They were. I'm doing a little voice there. You like it? That microphone only has so much gain. Move it closer. His throat's messed up, man. Look at it. He ain't talking. They were disgusting. And Dr. Blank seems to have lost the room after that moment. Addendum 682D. Let's see here. This is a breach log. First occurrence, handled by Agent Blank, and Agent Blank, KIA. Personnel D-129 KIA and Personnel D-27 KIA, 173 KIA, 200 KIA, and 193 KIA. Second occurrence, handled by Agent Blank, and Dr. Blank. All Agent D personnel were also neutralized. Third occurrence, handled by Agent Blank, myself, Agent Blank, and a few Class D personnel that I don't want to bother reading the designations of. Fourth occurrence, handled by Agent Blank, myself once again, Private Blank, Lieutenant Blank, Sergeant Blank, KIA, Colonel Blank, KIA, Private Blank, KIA, Private Blank, KIA. Am I painting a pretty picture in your brains, folks? Listen, some of y'all ain't gonna come back from this, so to avoid that from happening in the extreme, let's take precautions, shall we? I see you fucking around with that gun back there, boy. More occurrences therein occurred with heavy casualties each time. Addendum 682E, termination options. Let's talk about termination, folks. This is the useful shit. This is why I love them doctors. Dr. Blank attempts to use SCP-409 on SCP-682. General Blank, and Dr. Blank observing. 0400 hours. Exposure. SCP began to tear at the point of contact, causing massive trauma to the area. 0800 hours. Crystallization begins, spreading much slower than normal. SCP-682 shows signs of extreme pain at 1200 hours and begins having seizures. At 1300 hours, crystallization stops at 62% conversion. Crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to 682. 682 recovers from exposure at 1400 hours, despite the loss of limbs and organs. It begins regeneration, stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all of the SCP staff involved in the event. SCP-682 appears to be immune to SCP-409. Let's see here. Now for you booger eaters who aren't paying attention, SCP-409 is the big old piece of quartz that replicates. Grey Goose scenario. I don't expect you folks to understand what the hell I'm talking about, but suffice to say, it's bad news. In accordance with Dr. Blank's recommendations, Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank have requested permission to attempt the termination of SCP-682 using SCP-689. Their request is currently pending approval from the Blank. It's also been suggested by Dr. Gears to use SCP-182 in an attempt to communicate. SCP-182 has expressed reluctance and refuses to enter the containment center of SCP-682 if all possible. Now for the uninformed, SCP-182 there is a sort of telekinetic human man, so don't you worry about that. Alright now I hope I've impressed upon you ladies how important it is to get this Mother Hubbard back into custody. Mean and green don't do it justice. I've seen this thing before. It's got chompers the size of your goddamn forearm. Don't let it spit any acid on you. Pretty much just open fire and hope it doesn't look at you first. Alright folks, here we go. Move out!